And now, to people who have just been making shocking waves, we have Major. Now, we know his personal life is a whole mess, but his professional life is top tier. This guy produces banger after banger, hit after hit, and he never misses. Him and his Tumblr have become just a national sensation, and we identify with him. He is very talented and we're proud of him. And while other musical artists are complaining about, oh, the music industry is tough, it's blah, 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 they would kill. They would stab each other for a chance to work with someone like Diamond Platnumz because he's very established, not only in Africa, but also around the world. He's just an international star. He's like our Madonna, if I do so myself. But now, Major is revealing that he has actually declined an offer to do a collabo with Diamond Platnumz. Simply because he feels like it would water down his brand. And not only has he declined Diamond Platinum, but another bongo artist that he did not mention. And this is his reason. And he said, I can't take it's not bad, but I have pride in Genge music, to which I say yes, because we have been fighting for an identity of the Kenyan music. We want to say, this is how Kenyan music sounds. This, Genge tone should be the identification,
The sound
of Kenya. And he goes on to say, all songs are good, but I appreciate my work. When you start mixing your genre, you are starting to admit defeat, and Genge is life. And then he went on to say, because, a deal with Diamond Platnumz
Major.
means it's coin in your pocket. You're breaking the bag, you are taking this bag and you're running with it. Given all the problems, okay, he does not have baby mama problems. He just has ex-girlfriend problems, And I'm just thinking, a bag like that would be an asset. But he says, I can't take money to sell my love for Genge. I started rapping in high school just because I wanted to listen to myself on CD, not because I actually wanted to be paid. And I'm like, hell yes. And then he goes on to highlight the problems, the places he has actually, the milestones he's done, and he's saying, nowadays it is easy to do music in Kenya. Before, a promoter paid a plane for me, I had to push. You would be booked and then you board a matatu and go and perform.
It's true.
And still we made it. So he's just giving you, it's not overnight success, because this man, he has worked for his name, he has worked for his brand, he has put in the work. So for him to be enjoying his fame and where it is at now, we applaud you. And for you to not want to sell your soul, we applaud that too. And if more Kenyan artists would have the same spirit, would be like, I just don't want to do it for the money. I want to do it because I identify with a certain sound. And we even had this discussion before. We were saying, these days, Kenyan artists, or just globally, people are making music because it might trend on TikTok. So when you're writing your lyrics, you're not doing it because it's something that inspires you and it's something you'd like to put out as a personal project. You're doing it because you want to see people dancing to your music, and it becomes a trend and it becomes viral. And in all of this, you kind of lose your sound because you want to do drill and amapiano and just everything that is trending, and you forget you, the deep roots. So I applaud you, Mejja. We love to see it.
I feel like it's such a conflict when it comes to owning your own craft, because a lot of people have struggled with this for a long time. I remember back in the day, in fact, even if you go back to the days of Elani was such a talented band, but because they completely refused to stick to mainstream music, they kind of just fified, you know. I mean, if you're not going to play the song in the club, where are you going to play it, you know? And our Kenyan lifestyle is such that we are always trying to wait for the weekend in order for us to go out and have a good time. If you start playing hapo subiri sijui nitakuja you know, that slow music is not catchy for the clubs and for the kind of mainstream media that we have. Unfortunately, it would also go so far to say that sometimes you need one or two of those mainstream songs in order for you to become that name. You know, it's gotten so bad that we can see guys like Beyonce and Drake singing the same kind of music.
Imagine if you won't break my soul, it was such
It's
a
like,
deviation.
what is that even?
From what Beyonce is.
Exact. And Drake doing a very similar electronic song just so it can be able to pick up on Instagram or on social media. However, I do understand how keeping up with those trends can keep you viable, can keep you relevant, can keep people speaking about your name. If you go the way that Jay-Z went, it was a long time. He did big music and he dropped it and he was done. Have you ever seen, when's the last time you had Jay-Z doing a song?
Nothing.
Never, because these people decided to stay to the core of the roots of the music and the ideologies and all of that. And unfortunately, the more you stick to your core values, sometimes you can be overtaken by events and overtaken by times. Here's my two thinking, or my 2 cents. Adapt, adapt, adapt. Adaptation is the word of the day. Find a way to fuse amapiano music with genge music. Why? Because either way, genge music is going to be heard internationally. Simply because people got introduced to it through a variation of amapiano music doesn't mean that it's not going to keep your name on those pedestals and people will start listening to your music, like properly listening to your music. Burna Boy, same thing. He had to create 1 or 2 songs that were bangers in order for people to start actually feeling his vibe.
Look how international
Look how big he is now. Do you think before Choice and Stall and all of these other songs, like the songs which Burna Boy sings that honestly it does not make sense, but because he's already such a sensation, people will still listen to him. Why? Because they got introduced to him by someone else. You know, he got on the screen with like Ed Sheeran. What's his name? The guy who did the song with is it Adekunle, who did the song with Ed Sheeran, and then it became such a big song. And now the girl has even ended up winning a big award. It just is about adaptation. Adapt, adapt, adapt. However,
can I say how refreshing it is to see like white people try to sing Nigerian?
It is so funny.
During Burna's concert.
It is so funny.
I just like to see white people trying to do that Tumblr thing.
Yeah.
Mejja. It will be so refreshing.
It would be so
interesting. And he
interesting.
actually has a concert lined up in Australia.
There we go.
So as much as he's not selling his soul and selling himself out, he's actually getting gigs. So we'll have to see it.
All right. For
Keep up the
everyone
same
else
pace.
who's trying to break in, find a way to adapt.